Welcome to Whatcha Makin, a podcast about sharing ideas, discussing the business of making, and connecting with the maker community. Your hosts are Alex Adams, an engineer turned furniture maker of Type A Furniture, and an alien pretending to be a DIY craftsman, Alex Duffey of Duffey Woodcraft. This is Whatcha Makin.
Hello, makers, and welcome to Whatcha Makin, a podcast where we talk all about what's on your bench, spotlight makers throughout the community, and remind you that ladybugs bleed from their knees and are known to commit cannibalism. On tonight's main topic, we talk about making relationships with vendors and have a special guest, but more about him in a moment. I'm Alex Duffey. You can find me on Instagram and on YouTube at Duffey Woodcraft.
And I am Alex Adams at Type A Furniture on Instagram. And I just want to thank our patrons who attended our quarterly meeting. That was a really fun time.
Yes.
Really enjoyed that. So I look forward to the next one that we host. And if you want to be a part of that, you can go to Whatcha Makin, patreon.com/Whatcha Makin show. And you can become a patron and enjoy that wonderful quarterly call as a benefit.
All right. Well, if you're watching on YouTube, you have already noticed who our guest is. But for those who are listening, help me welcome to the shop Braden of Littlebug Woodworking. He's the co-host of another woodshop podcast, ex-co-host of Sawdust Talk, and one of my OG friends of the maker community. So, hey, Braden.
Hi. How's everybody
I'll send
doing?
you a contract over for being a new co-host of Whatcha Makin.
I'm going to be honest. At this point, the perk packages that I need to get poached are getting pretty. They're getting pretty up there, pretty outrageous. Like,
You got some golden handcuffs.
like I want all of the green Skittles picked out of the bowl, sort of level stuff.
I mean, Alex does hand stuff, so that might help.
I know, and I hate it. I hate all of it.
In shorts.
I hate it more. It's just the worst.
So Braden. Who are you?
I am obviously Braden of Littlebug Woodworking. I have a story that starts a long time ago. I was born a poor child on the east side of the Mississippi. No, that's real. I have an origin story that's very, very similar to like 99% of all the makers. COVID hit. I had nothing to do and a house full of spaces that I felt needed stuff. And so I just bought a table saw and went to town. I got real heavy into yard games. I was pumping out cornhole boards faster than I could really keep up at a certain point. And then one fateful day, I realized, oh, you can upgrade table saws with these things called ZCIs. And I looked on Etsy because I had gotten an ad at some point, and I realized that the guy making them was like 20 minutes away from me, and that is how I met Daniel Dunlap. And that was my entry into this community. The first thing that he did was invite me to go hang out in the middle of the woods of New York like 3 weeks later where there's no cell service. And, I've seen just about every horror film, and I know how that works, so I didn't do that. But I did get more and more into the community. I got my first CNC, a Onefinity, based on talking to him and kind of just poking around the community. And I have very quickly, as I do, thrown myself into a hobby. And my wife jokes that I don't know how to do anything without trying to monetize it. And so I started a furniture business. And now I make just enough money with that to continue the legal headache of doing that every single year. But I have developed a small scale manufacturing business. I do a lot of corporate branding. And then I started to shift into doing some content creation while I did all of this, because I figure if I'm interested in it, somebody else should have to suffer through what I'm doing with me. So,
And you also have a day job.
And I've seen your table saw cuts.
I do have a day job. I have not been dumb enough to try and make my hobby into my full-time job. and I say that with all of the respect towards anybody that has been able to do this full time. Y'all are insane, but good on you. But instead, I went and figured out podcasting, and so I kind of took over for Sawdust Talk when they had some hosting changes. I'd kind of gotten into that, and then I just took over as a hostile takeover, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. Built that up, and then one day Pete and Dan were like, hey, you suck less than people say to your face. Do you want to come over and do AWP? And I said, well, sure, why not? Hang out with my boys like another 8 hours a week? Of course. And that's kind of how I got roped into doing AWP. Secretly, I think that they just want somebody to do all the paperwork.
They definitely got you on that one.
They got me. Yeah.
That's how Alex got me onto this podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
I got punked doing that. I got punked doing some of the content negotiation stuff for Dan's business. I'm very quickly shifting into a role where I'm doing less of my own content creation and more of my more brand representation for like other makers.
I mean, let's be real. You're Dan's fixer.
It's kind of shifted. I figured, why would I want to develop all my own content and build up my own following when I can just like take over other people's and just take advantage of like theirs? Like just grab coattails. It's all coattails, baby.
So you're not even Dan 2.0. You're Dan's scraps.
I'm Dan behind the scenes.
I like Dan scraps better.
No, that's a lie. I am Dan.
Weekend at Dan's.
Dan is Microsoft PowerPoint. He's all the glamour. I'm Dan Microsoft Excel.
Okay.
With or without macros.
Oh, so many macros. Macros so hard. But long story short, I will do just about anything. I like tinkering. I like learning new stuff. I like trying out stuff. I do a bunch of beta work for some, that sounds weird, beta testing work for some brands.
You just like getting hurt over and over again.
I do. I'm just emotionally raw all the time. So, yeah, I just try a bunch of stuff.
You and for our listeners who don't listen to your podcast regularly, where did Littlebug come from? How did that name get picked?
Littlebug. Yeah, so Littlebug is what I call my daughter. She's been my little bug since the day she was born, and I'm at the point where I don't even recognize that I'm saying Littlebug instead of her name or Bug or any sort of combination of nicknames that are bug related. So she's always been my little bug, and it's adorable.
It is adorable. Does she do any woodworking with you at all?
She does, yeah. We are avid participators of the Home Depot and Lowe's kids activities clubs, so we got all them patches. She does some stuff outside in the shop with me. The best and worst thing that has ever happened to me as a parent, best because I love every second of it. The worst in the sense that I have schedules that I have to keep as an adult. Is she realized that between the laser and the CNC and like all these tools I have out there, as long as she can articulate what she has in her brain to me, like what she wants between the 3D printer and all this other stuff, I can generally make that thing a real thing.
Isn't that such a cool superpower to have as a dad?
It's freaking awesome. But it's time consuming, and that's the hard part. Like, okay, cool, I can totally design this. Should I be working on like the 8 projects that I have going on for like paying customers? Yes. But you know what? Laser cutting a articulating tiger sounds dope, and I'm gonna do that. So
I gotta say, like, that is stuff that she's gonna remember forever, though. Like, my dad is an engineer, and I grew up, whenever I had a school project, he put it on his engineer hat and we built the crap out of something. Like, I remember I had in middle school this thing about Shakespeare, and my dad's like, oh, we should just build the Globe Theater, like a 4-foot version of the Globe Theater. And I'm like, okay, I don't know, I want an A. So
right, I guess you're doing my project now.
Exactly. But those type of things, like I grow up remembering that, and that's definitely what's pushed me into being hands on with my hands and building stuff. So yeah, I'm sure she'll look back on it and be great.
My story and what has kind of developed this person that is in front of you comes from I had a very similar dad, very science and math oriented, whereas I am much more on like the arts and creativity side. But I have just a core memory. Actually, I have several core memories of my dad having to come up to this school because I'm in trouble, but not for like normal kid trouble, like First Amendment right trouble. And I had one where, if anybody searches the internet like deep enough, you will find an underground newspaper that a buddy and I started. It's really fun having your dad kicking in the door of a principal's office saying, hey, I hate that I'm here, but my son has First Amendment rights, and you really can't do anything about this, whether you like it or not. In like full Navy officer's uniform. Like, it's fantastic. But
that's amazing.
I have this core memory of a project that we worked on, and the project was for like a physical science class, and it was you build a balloon car. And the idea was you blow up the balloon and you use the air power to push the car down the road.
Yep.
My dad and I read the rules front to back like 20, 30 times. And we realized it never specifically says how you have to use the balloon. And you got 2 balloons. And so we cut one balloon and made rubber grip for the tires because it was using like plastic wheels. And then we used the second one and we built like a rubber powered pulley system that you wrapped the balloon around the axle, and we were able to get like 300 yards out of this thing, whereas everybody else is getting like 20 feet or so. Mine went from one side of the school to the other, and they were like, hey, you're getting an F, like this isn't what you're supposed to do. And same thing, dad comes up kicking in the door, hey, I get it, and I get you're probably going to change the rules after this, but technically the rules you gave him don't say he can't do this. So
being technically correct is the best kind of correct.
It is my favorite type of correct. Technically correct. Don't let anybody ever convince you of anything otherwise. Technically correct is the best kind of correct.
Mm-hmm. And the fact that, you guys did it within the rules. It's not, that's perfect.
I just love pissing people off while following the rules the entire time. It's so much fun. It's like, that's probably why I like being hurt by the CNC, because I did it. It's my fault when it goes wrong.
Well, with that said,
what you doing?
So this week, Alex, why don't you start? What was on your bench this week?
So I milled up a crap ton of cherry logs by someone who was nearby. So they had a couple of trees that they were taking down, and between these we had like 10 or so logs that were about like, the bigger ones were like close to a foot in diameter, and they range from like 4 or 5 feet up to like 12 feet. And so on a Sunday we milled up all of those, and it did take a little bit longer than anticipated. And we actually ran into the absolute biggest ants I have ever seen in my life, and they also had wings. Like, these things were like, they were like bigger than my fingernail with wings, and they were like freaking huge.
Alex, why are you like the worst Disney princess? Like, you still get all the animals attracted to you, but it's not the cute cuddly ones. It's all of like the other ones.
I mean, when I was a kid in like 3rd grade, we had like an insect module, and I got super hardcore into like insects and bugs, and I would catch and like get like caterpillars, make sure and like feed them so they get into a cocoon to see what kind of like butterflies that they would turn into. Like I literally had like a field guide of like all of the insects in North America. Like that was the first book that I remember buying off of Amazon.
Now I know who you remind me of. You remind me of the bug catcher Pokemon guy from Blue and Red. You're that guy who just caught all the bugs.
Oh,
And obsessed with bugs.
Close.
I was gonna say you're the other kid from the movie Role Models. Man, you would have a friggin' turtle.
Yeah, I did also. It was for like 4-H where you did the insect you would like catch them and like pin them up and put their names on it and stuff. I was able to catch a cicada killer, which if you've ever seen those they look big and nasty. But it was very interesting how I caught them because they like dig and burrow in the ground, and it's this like the hole is probably about the size of like a penny in diameter, and you can tell. So you just stick a bottle with mashed up paper towels over the top, so when they come out and they go up into it, then you flip and then just close the canister. So
Yeah,
I got pretty creative.
Alex, you need to find on YouTube, the Ants Canada channel. This guy,
Ants Canada?
Yeah, so I think he started in Canada, but now he's Filipino and he moved back to the Philippines. He must be loaded because he lives on the frickin' compound and has is it 4 now? 5. He has 5 terrariums, but these are 1,000-gallon plus terrariums each, and they're all interconnected.
Like the sealed ones?
Yeah. No. Like he manages them with like, there's one that's the waterlands, which has like fish and then trees and stuff in it, and then that goes up to like the ground level of the rainforest, and then he has a canopy one, and now he's got a grassland one, and like
is this like a Joe Exotic style or more like actual zoo style?
It's more like a Joe Exotic / zoo. Like it's in his house, but he's running these like. The whole idea is he's basically creating self-sustaining ecosystem in a terrarium style. It's really cool, but I think you would totally dig it since you're into this kind of stuff.
We did. I grew up with the Omaha Zoo being within 2 hours of me, which is literally the best and like one of the largest zoos in the world. So I've got pretty high standards when it comes to that stuff.
I think so. Like this. His production quality for YouTube videos are outstanding. He has some amazing cameras and everything he films the stuff with. It's really good.
I moved to Omaha from San Diego, and as much as I love to say that San Diego is better than just about everything in Omaha, zoo-wise, no comparison.
How is that possible? It's freaking Omaha.
What else are we going to do other than Husker games?
Husker games and animals, baby.
And we don't like... I think we might have like a professional soccer team. Like we don't
volleyball.
really have our own like professional.
We have a pro volleyball team.
Yeah. Omaha's been like popping up some of the like, not like the super large sports teams, like sports franchises.
We're not quite drive around chasing twisters and stuff. Isn't that what you guys do?
That's Oklahoma. Yeah, no, that's.
I mean, we go outside and watch it as it happens.
Yeah, but we're not running them down.
I technically got caught in like an F-0 tornado, last tornado season with my son in the car.
An F-0, so somebody crop dusted you, like farted as they walked by. That's an F-0, buddy.
It should have been an F1, but someone didn't hit the sirens for the town.
Nerd.
So they categorized it as that because they were like, if we would have said it was an F1, someone would have been in trouble for not setting off the tornado sirens.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Don't you live in a town of like 8? Aren't you the guy to set off the siren? Doesn't everybody just like go outside and be like, ah?
I just do the Saturday at like noon.
Yeah, there's a button on the one light pole in the town. Just
yeah, you've got like the cross now, the don't cross, and hey, turn on the tornado siren. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so We got really far off track. You build up a bunch of cherry logs. What else have you been doing?
Yeah, so I milled up a bunch of those cherry logs. We got them stacked in the person's shed. This person lives like 2 blocks away from me. So we got all that stuff milled up. Got some pretty good stuff. Some straight grain as well as some a little bit of like crotch figure and other things. Let's see. And the friend that I have, he has this portable sawmill. He's like an hour away from me. So not my own sawmill. I do not have. I just have like a little electric chainsaw with a chainsaw mill attachment. So we used his mill for that one because it's way faster and much more yield. Let's see. I have been remaking. I think I had mentioned this last time with remaking a table leg. Because I think last time I had mentioned that it was like, I think I'd cut out the profile and I got the second side of it because it's like 2 pieces that glued together for the thickness that I'm looking for. Because I think it's about, I think it was like 2.5 to 2 3/4 thick, which is just easier to do 2 pieces at that point. So I glued them together, and then I used my flush trim router because I had already shaped the first one to the shape that I wanted, and then I used the flush trim to get the other one that was just off of the bandsaw to be the same shape. And it's this like kind of curvy shape, so it's just kind of a weird thing to do on the router because it's not the same as like just running like a straight edge profile where you can just push it through as a straight edge, like you're twisting and turning, and you've got like, I had to take my dust shroud off to like get it through some of the parts because of the orientation. It probably would have been easier if I had a bearing that was on the, because I had the one that was a bearing that's like on the top of the workpiece. I should have had a bearing on the bottom as well, because that would have made it easier to flip over the workpiece to like feed it through a little bit better. And then I've been kind of cleaning up some of the garage space to get in some workspace for a couple of benches that I'm going to be flattening the tops for here soon, and then cleaning up the bench in the basement shop area because I let it accumulate so much stuff, mainly after making the Harry Potter wands for my son, where I had like the lathe out and got all the shavings everywhere, and you know how the workbench just accumulates a bunch of crap eventually, and you just gotta like purge it. I mean, yeah. I know Braden prefers to use Peter's CNC for his workspace, so I don't have a CNC workspace.
I mean, you could.
I was just shaking my head because, no, I don't know what that's like. I'm always super organized, and my shop's always super clean.
I've seen your stories. It's a lie.
Hush.
Oh, and the last thing that I've been making are some of the most unhinged Sora videos, which are just wonderful, and Braden loves them so much.
I'm so dang happy that I can't upload my likeness to that app.
Just in case it didn't get picked up by the microphone, that was an audible sigh of disapproval.
That's because Braden is a coward and will not allow me cameo access to his likeness for videos.
I will not. Over my dead body. I've seen what you do with just Dan's likeness. No. I don't.
That's fun.
Mm-mm.
It's hilarious.
I don't need that out.
Tell me that you don't laugh at every single one of them.
It's like a.
It might be.
It's like a.
It might be a disappointed laugh, but it's still a laugh.
It's like, that's pretty good. I'm so glad it's not me.
That's how I feel. I watch it and go, "Oh God, yeah, that's not me."
And somehow you've still managed to include me in them. You just have me hiding in my truck.
In your truck,
like, yeah, you're still
with Dan trying to get you out.
You're still making me part of your nightmare, or I guess my nightmare.
This is why I'm so glad I'm not on there.
It's very creative storytelling. I will say that.
I do have to say, so it is, and the fact that people are coming up with some really creative on TikTok, I've got on this trend lately of people who have taken the fox and the bunny from Zootopia, and they're doing like soap opera style videos of these two and their like life together, of like she left him and the baby to go follow her career and like things like that. It's really entertaining.
Some of my favorites are like the movie trailers that they've been making that are just wonderful, of like little animated shorts of just the most hilarious stories.
They are, you say hilarious, they are straight up unhinged. They're waking nightmares. That's what they are. And they are hilarious.
I've also seen a few that I'm like, damn, now I want to watch that movie, and it's not going to exist.
It's not a real movie. Oh, no. Oh, I'd watch that. I'd watch that a lot.
Yeah, I saw it was a sequel to The Rocketeer that somebody had made a thing of, and I was like, it looked so good, and I want it so bad, because that movie still holds up really well.
Oh, I can make a trailer for a sequel to The Iron Giant, because that was a bomb movie.
That was a good movie.
Oh my god, grown men crying. That's how you know it's a hit.
Well, I think they said that they would never make a sequel of that one.
You don't mess with perfection, and then if you wait long enough, they do mess with perfection, and it's upsetting.
When they throw enough money at someone, they will relax their morals.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's why I'm glad like Bob Gale, who owns the rights to the Back to the Future, has written into his will that those rights will not leave his family, and it's over his dead grave he said that they will ever make another movie or a remake of it, because he thinks it's perfection.
Same thing with Bill Watterson and the Calvin and Hobbes.
Mm-hmm. Such good. There's
no official Calvin and Hobbes merch, which is a real shame.
It is.
It's just all the illegal, dumb peeing stickers that people put on pickup trucks.
Mm-hmm.
No shame.
No shame.
They're almost as shameful as people who put truck nuts on people's trucks.
That's right.
Especially if they're made out of walnut and clank.
I'm gonna let you guys know a secret about those. They weren't really walnut. They were Cambia ash.
You gotta take away your woodworker card now.
Why?
Were they even authentic Dan scraps?
No, they were certified Braden scraps. I used my own stuff for that. That was from my
you dipped into your own reserves.
Yeah, that's right. That was from the bed frame.
Well,
so they were regulation truck nuts.
Your woodworking card, what have you been doing this week, Braden?
So I just need you to know that you're gonna be disappointed in me. You know how you're always talking about like prepping for craft fairs and like you've been working hard like the last 10 weeks and you're ready for it to all be over. Here's the thing. Dan and I don't prep
like 2 days before.
Dan, okay, so backstory. Dan and I do craft fairs not really because we're not craft fair guys. Like it's not, we're not trying to make our year on craft fairs. Holiday season isn't necessarily like the thing for us. I mean, there's the uptick in not actual sales. You know what I mean? Other channels of sales. We basically just do the craft fairs because it's fun. It gets us out of the house. It makes a couple bucks. Every single year, we talk about planning ahead, and we talk about getting ready ahead of time, and we talk about how we're going to be better than last year. And somehow every year, we're worse. This craft fair that we went to this last Saturday, other than I went and I double-checked, and I cut like 10 or 20 more whiskey smokers, which is like 90% of our sales at craft shows anyway. We had enough stock from last year just sitting in our buckets. They were like, we're going to show up morning of, not even the night before, because it was Halloween, so we had trick-or-treating, obviously. Morning of to our first fall version of this craft fair. So we got to do well enough so that they will let us come back, because we only do like 3 or 4 of them a year. So we've got to do good enough to make it worthwhile. Mm-hmm. Show up morning of. Dan's running behind. I get there like an hour after they open for setup, and like we throw everything together. Man, we friggin' nailed it. This is the worst part about like living a lifestyle that I live. We made back Booth, and then we made enough that both Dan and I, we don't track like individual products. We just, whatever we make, we just split down the middle. Dan and I both were like, nice. So we
Giggity.
We did we didn't do Alex Duffey good, but we did
I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna ask you numbers, but yeah,
we crested 4 figures. I'll say that, and that's
okay.
Like anything under that, we start to get pissy about like, you pay for lunch at the food truck outside.
Oh, yeah.
And it starts to not be worth. You get close enough to like, maybe we don't come back to this one, but we went pretty decently past 4 figures.
You'll have that on these bigger craft fairs.
Yeah, and that's we're super particular about like the 3 or 4 that we do because we only do 3 or 4, so they've got to be kind of worth it, or else we like each other, but we don't want to spend time together and not make any money. The problem is every single time we say, man, not prepping for something, in my life at least, not prepping for something is really going to bite me in the butt here. It never does. It almost always works out. And that got me through college. It got me through school. Like, it's gotten me through life.
I hated guys like you in school.
Wait a second. Hold on the college. Hold on the college one. That it was which college?
What are you? Where are we going down this path?
I was only aware of one college that you went to. Did you transfer, or was that the only college that you did, your first one?
I've technically gone to 3 different colleges.
Did you go to the South Harmon Institute of Technology?
I did. Yes, I did.
Okay.
Awesome movie, by the way. Solid reference. I'm working with some very unstable herbs. No, so okay. What Alex is hinting at, I briefly attended seminary school. And that is what he's referring to. That actually, I would say, did kind of work out for me. One, I did fine grade-wise there. I was bored out of my mind because Seward, Nebraska is too small of a town for me.
Seward's about the same size as my town.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit smaller. How many? 'Cause, York's about just under 10,000, I think. Is Seward like 6 to 8?
God.
Yeah, it's like 6,000 people. And 4.5 of those 1,000 people are the college students, and so when they leave, we've
got a Walmart, so we're big time.
That was
Seward. You had to drive.
I went to college in Forest City, Iowa, and it was the home of the Winnebago factory and Waldorf College. Those were the 2 things in the town. It had a blinking stoplight, and that was it.
Now York College has been upgraded to York University, so now we're a university town. This happened
just
within the last year or two.
The Phoenix Online University bought them out doesn't mean.
Technically, I think they partnered up with
an online university,
like a nursing program or some other stuff.
There it is.
So so something along those lines. So yeah, it's not quite seminary school, but similar.
Just because okay, you guys have to reel me in. You know how bad I am at just getting off topic, but just to round out Alex's reference here, Alex, I was fine on grades. Like, I was getting through school fantastic. I left because, and if anybody wants to find out more, you can reach out to me personally. They didn't have an explosives policy in their student handbook when I started. They did when I left. And that's what I'll leave it at. And also, not.
Were you
bombs.
trying to help people meet Jesus sooner?
Not bombs. I was bored and I had access to fireworks.
Well, we just got demonetized. Thanks so much.
No, it's fine. It's not that thing. No, I had access to fireworks, and but anyway, and then I went to school for marketing and all that. So, but in terms of what I'm working on, I'm getting prepped for craft fairs. I just picked up what might be a pretty interesting logo job, and then also some small scale manufacturing stuff. But it's an artist that reached out to me about creating a 4-foot by 4-foot logo sign that I'm pretty pumped about, because I think I'm going to make it as hard as possible on myself, and try and use multiple pieces of wood to get a 3D carve out on the CNC.
that big enough that you need a 4x8 for that?
No, I should be able to work it with what I got. So that's what I'm working on, amongst all my other stuff and the chaos of I should clean my shop, but always.
Yeah, I feel that. So I'm the other hand, as you said, I've been making for 10 weeks straight, not nonstop getting ready. It's my first market is coming up.
Hey, you're not out there slinging spray foam and spray foam accessories, let me tell you.
I'm killing it in the spray foam game. I'm killing it.
Nobody wants to be in the spray foam game. That's VOCs up and around your face and all over. No.
They hate us because they ain't us.
That's true. They hate us because they ain't us.
Anywho, so my first market is this weekend. I haven't been at this market before, so the one I normally go to this weekend, they moved weekends to compete with a different market, and which I'm already at. So I said, well, forget you guys. So I'm doing this one for the first time.
Said.
Yep. He used a different F word. But
Fergalicious?
Yeah, sure. So this week I have been finishing up the last few products that production runs I've done. I did a whole batch of my cedar soap dishes, and then I'm currently doing about 500 bookmarks or so. And then it's all just been I've been packing up everything that I've made for the first market, trying to figure out, all right, how much am I going to bring of every product? Because I'm not going to travel 20 grand worth of product that I've made over 10 weeks to every market, right? Like there's just too much. So I'm like, all right, do I bring 40 of every product? Do I bring 20 of every product? Like, what do I bring? So I figured it out. I do have 29 different SKUs or products. And that's not including different varieties of like bookmarks have 15 different varieties of each book of the designs, but I have 29 different items. So like bookmarks, different games and everything else. So it's like, don't like making the same thing over and over again.
I love you talking about like all these SKUs and like your plan, like your game plan around craft fairs. I hold the utmost respect for it because I wish I could do it. We are literally knocking out every single SKU that we own, and we're blowing out of the stuff this year, and we are just going to do whiskey smoker booths. Like that's all we're going to do.
That's insane to me. I do whiskey smokers too.
I love talking to you about this because we have such a night and day experience with whiskey smokers. We sold over 50 just at the one fair. Like we almost blew through all of our inventory.
Damn. I think I only made 100 for the entire market season.
Oh, so, yeah. No, I'm pumping through. I actually set up a fixture plate on my vacuum table just so I can start just slap a board. If I was, as soon as I looked at it, I'm like, I should have done this like 3 different ways than I did. That would have been way more effective. But that's it. Like I'm just pumping white oak onto that thing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Do you find that you sell more whiskey smokers after a Husker loss or a Husker win?
It's equal.
I think that's some data that you need to keep track of.
It's equal. Either way, Husker fans.
Either way,
be
you're
drinking.
getting drunk.
Either way, Husker fans be drinking.
And they can drink in the stadium now. This is the first season that we get it.
Alex, are you still just doing your video like demo of your whiskey smokers, or are you doing actual demos at events?
No, I don't want to get kicked out.
Oh, see, okay, here, and I keep telling you, this is the difference. Like, we do not sell whiskey smokers when we don't start fires inside.
Just take a fire extinguisher with you and be like, I got safety stuff.
Well, here's the other thing. Like
that,
okay, I see, and that's because you have, only a few things that you've done. It is just me and my wife.
Wow, talking down to Braden. Only a few things.
He just said they only have a few SKUs. Like, I'm sitting here with 29 different items. I'm always busy enough. There's no time for me to be demoing. I'm constantly checking somebody out at the register or doing things or answering
Alex
questions and that kind of stuff.
See, that's again, we have the exact same problem, but the opposite side of it. Dan stands there and does whiskey smoker demos, and I just sit there and I ring them out. Like, that's it. We don't have time to talk about any of our other 4 tables that we have. So
yeah,
again, it's such a night and day experience, difference in experiences that I love talking about it.
And I like, so actually I am going to talk to you off channel about this at some point, because I want to document your experience of it. So I, little knowledge behind the scenes for everybody listening. I'm actually writing a book currently about craft fairs, the Maker's Guide to a Craft Fair. And it's something I'm working on. So I want to get different perspectives from a lot of people of different ways of doing things. So, and I like that because we have such different versions of things.
Is it going to be like what to expect when you're expecting a craft fair?
Basically,
you'll hate everything I have to say because it is the complete exact opposite of pretty much everything that you do.
And that's fine, but that's the cool thing about these type of things. It still works for you guys, and my version works for me. So I like that there's different ways that work for people, and that's, I think, what's always so fun about selling is because everybody has different ways to sell, and so, yeah. And I've officially hired my first person for one of my markets as an assistant to come help us out at the casino market, because we're always so busy at that one that I wanted a third person for that. So
you're gonna gamble on bringing this guy on board?
Yes, gal, actually.
This gal on board. Sorry, I'm an equal opportunity pun referencer.
I mean, you could do what FedEx did and use all of your money and bet it on like red.
Your last $5,000? I just
Exactly.
read that.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it was like FedEx, like a long time ago. They were like almost bankrupt, and the founder or whatever like put like all of their money into like gambling at a casino and like won a bunch of money, and they kept FedEx open.
Yeah, the owner of FedEx had their last $5,000, and a week later was not going to be able to make their $24,000 fuel bill. So he went to Vegas, put it all on black or something like that, and he won and was able to pay the fuel bill, and that's how FedEx continued to grow.
See, I love stories like that. I'm too much of a chicken shit to do something like that, because I look at it going, but if I lose it, oh my God.
Either way, you're not paying
FedEx
the
would also
bill.
be slinging, the whiskey smokers as well. Like, that they would run that.
I mean, they did make a movie about how they lost somebody for 20 years, and then we still use their products. So,
hey, he eventually got it to that person.
Alex is basically saying that our whiskey smoker approach is the FedEx approach, whereas he is the USPS approach of like he's pre-funded his pension plan for like the next 50 years. Like he's looking for rock solid stability.
oh no, I'm more of the UPS. I actually want to make money. USPS is just bleeding money.
Listen, we could talk about things that are services provided to the community and how you don't have to make money on services to the community and how it's better for society, but it's not that kind of podcast. So
I agree with that 100%. And yes, I have lots of thoughts, but on that note,
Fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it.
so let's talk about what we actually went wrong in our shops this week. So I'll go ahead and start. I broke another bandsaw blade this week. Almost, it was almost a code brown again, because when that thing snaps, it's a terrifying moment. Yeah, I don't like that. I do not like it, especially when my fingers are close.
What size of a bandsaw blade was it?
This one was a small one. I was using a 1/4 inch. And I was resawing something I shouldn't have been doing with that blade. And I was like, I want to get it done, and I just want to move on. And sure enough, I heard the telltale doom, 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 and then snap.
Was it like slow motion? As soon as you heard it, you were like, as you were like trying to reach over for like the off switch?
No, it started making that noise, and I went, but I'm only half an inch away from finishing this cut. I can make half an inch. And so I pushed it a little more. And snapperoonie. So yeah,
Man, what's that ticking coming from the engine of my car? I bet I could probably make it home. It's just right up the road.
Exactly. Yeah, so I broke that, and then I totally shattered a tote this week too. I think that because I leave all my totes in the garage throughout the seasons. I do not have a climate control garage, so it gets hot, then it gets cold, and hot and cold, so on. And so I had a couple of cheap totes left over, and so as I've been packing things up for this next market, one of them fell off the shelf, and it literally just like, it's plastic, but it shattered. I've never seen plastic.
It's seen enough use that it's gotten more brittle.
Yeah, it just hit the ground and the entire bottom just shattered. And I was like,
oh, that reminded me of something.
Yeah, so luckily it's one of my old totes and I didn't need it anymore anyway, but it was like, I've never seen that do that before. But Braden, how's your week been? Did you break anything while you were slowly prepping for your markets?
So here's the thing that I broke. Emotionally, I didn't prep for any of the craft fairs this year, and so now I'm having to prep in real time. So that's super stressful. And of course, the day job decided that it needed me in the evenings for like half of my week, the last 2 weeks, and now we're in the middle of a shop move that started this week. So day job shop into a much bigger shop, not
that sounds like a Sutton
Littlebug
problem.
shop. It is, but Sutton has to go do all the work, and if we pull him off of, like, if we pull our guys off of jobs where we're getting to invoice people, they're essentially just a full-on cost as opposed to like an offset cost. I ain't about that game, so I'd rather do my job mobile while shifting some stuff around. I did almost crush myself to death today. Moving a couple of barrels full of spray foam part A and part B. They're about 500 pounds full, and I did what you're not supposed to do. I did shifty, non-OSHA compliant type stuff alone. And the only people that might have heard something go bad were the guys.
Did you not put your hair up too?
What's that?
Did you not put your hair up too?
I didn't. I put my head
free flowing down.
Yeah, I put my hair directly next to like unexposed gears. No. The only people that would have heard me scream would be the guys next door who blast mariachi music at like 11 out of 10 volume all day long. So they probably wouldn't have heard me. But I survived. Everything was fine. It was great. So don't worry. And then
sounds like you need to be forklift certified.
I'm working with a size forklift that you don't technically need a certification. It's just kind of recommended. It's one of the walk-behind electric-powered ones.
Oh, yeah, I've used one of those before.
It's like, okay, I'm 3/4 of the way to being a full-on forklift. It's like, I wish we just had the forklift. So it's handy, but like just inconvenient enough.
Forklift pre.
Kind of, yeah. It's like a training forklift. And then in the shop, I haven't broken anything yet, but I have made several like ka-thunk noises that scared the pants out of me with the CNC. So the fixture place that I set up for my vacuum table to do all of my whiskey smoker cutouts, it works phenomenal. The whiskey smokers themselves, they go nowhere. The problem is that I'm using material that is just big enough to get each of these out. And so the offcuts, every single offcut is like a corner, like a triangle. And so when I do that final cut, because I'm cutting all the way through on these, it like nicks the offcut.
Yeah, you've got like free floating pieces.
Yeah, these are all free floating. And so like it sucks it in and then like near clunk and then like shoots off somewhere. And so I just stand out of the way because
because your suction is just on the work piece itself.
Yeah, it is just on my finished piece. So it's one of those things where it's not really causing a problem. I should probably do something about it, but it's not
randomly
enough
get
to
hit in the
change.
back of the head with a scrap piece when you're walking around in the shop.
It's not. It's direct. It's very directional force. So, and it's not really like shooting off the CNC. It just kind of like jams itself into the previous piece, which is already fine. So, again, it's not.
What are you doing, step scrap?
It's not like wildly dangerous type like shooting across the shop stuff. So it's not super exciting, but it's definitely something where I'm like, well, when I have time to redesign my process here, I'm going to keep this little thing in mind.
I think you need another 2 million view video, and I think that might be your ticket there. Just free-floating scraps on the CNC.
We are still getting comments on that rage bait piece. Today, we got like 10. And every single person's an expert. And honestly, it's exactly what we knew what we were doing when we made that piece. We've got some ideas for some like response pieces, but I think I'm just going to start creating content around responding to like with reels to these comments. One guy said use a miter saw, which is the only option that I can think of that would be more dangerous than what we did.
Mm-hmm.
Not dangerous. It was a controlled cut. Dangerous is the wrong word. Less smarter.
Less OSHA compliant.
Yeah. Technically, it should have been done quite a bit different. But it wasn't, like, dangerous.
I looked at it.
You know what I mean?
And went, I don't see anything wrong with it. Because it's basically what I do most of the time.
Yeah. It's one of those cuts where, like, looking at it... So for anybody that hasn't seen this rage bait reel, I had to cut a relatively small piece of oak in half, and it was, I mean, we're talking like 3 inches by 3 inches by 4 or 5 inches long. Like the blade was a little bit too high. I had forgotten to put my riving knife on because I'd just taken off the dado blade or the dado stack. There's like the smallest amount of movement in my ZCI because there was some sawdust underneath it, and it's an old blade, so there's like some not charring, but like some of the wear on it. It's just a stack of things that should definitely be changed and done different, but not enough that I didn't make the cut and feel confident the entire time. So, but yeah, everybody's a friggin' expert on that thing, and I just love it. I respond like such a dill hole. I don't know what it's not people in the community, so I'm not really worried about what they think about me. So I'm just a smart ass. It's my outlet.
I think, and I'm glad you see it that way. I think it's very interesting when people have a way. And the funny thing is, I'm glad to see that you are getting people commenting on it, because I have this conversation with our mutual friend Kara all the time, because if she does something that, in one of her reels and isn't, OSHA compliant or whatever, she'll get hundreds of messages from guys telling her, hey, you need to do it this way. And it's like, all right, dude. All right, buddy. Like, let's not mansplain to this person for one, but also like, yeah. So I'm glad you're getting those comments, because people be people.
Equal opportunity comments.
I'm fine bearing the brunt of those. I also love getting...
You're wearing your brunt hat while you said that.
I also love getting involved in the what's the word I'm looking for? The
back and forth.
Alex, je ne sais quoi.
No, the female experience versus the male experience in this community, or like
gender equality, inequality.
There it is. Yeah, the difference in gender experience,
gender disparity.
I love getting involved in stuff like that, because people are such morons. Like,
oh yeah,
people are such morons, and the fact that the three of us can get away with so much stuff that people that are better artists than me can without catching flack, it just blows my mind. And I am such an aggressive feminist that I love making people feel like jackasses for being stupid idiots, sexist idiots. Pardon me if any of those words were not allowed, but people are dumb. They dumb. Super dumb.
Well, speaking
Nobody
of people
listens
being
to this
dumb,
podcast, though. Everybody that listens to this podcast is great.
Yeah, you won't lose your spray foam job.
Alex,
As
what the heck
long as
did
you don't go to a Phillies game and steal a ball from a kid, you'll be okay.
Alex, what did you break this week?
So the thing that Alex's tote reminded me of with the shattering plastic. So I had went to get a few sawhorses for that milling job, and I just because of space, like I have a huge driveway, so I just keep some stuff out there. Like my router sled just like lives out there. The huge frame.
Humble brag.
And so I went to like get some of these sawhorses that were there, and I went to like get the little plastic handles, and my hand just like ripped straight through them. And I was like, ah. So they weren't like super fancy, or wait, no, they were the fancy ones. Because that's right, yeah, because I was upset because like the super like basic ones that I had, like handles were fine, but these were the ones that were like supposed to be a little bit nicer and have like the slots for the 2x4s that were more adjustable on the sides and stuff like that. So I was just like, ah. So that was kind of a bummer, but I don't move those sawhorses around a lot, so it wasn't like a terrible thing. But when I was using the flush trim router, so I had moved it into the router table because I don't use the router table like a whole bunch. I made some questionable cuts because I looked and I was like, I don't have like a spot for like a starting pin anywhere on here. So I was like, yeah, I'll be fine.
You still know where your starting pin is?
No, yeah, I don't know where it is on
Show
that one
off.
because like, yeah, I don't.
Seriously,
because before I had only like put stuff on there that was like straight line stuff. Like I don't use this router table very much, and I've been using the little trim router for like little profile things more so. So yeah, I still need to figure out where to put the starting pin on that and how to even get one in. Because like I don't think there's a spot in here, and I don't remember if it came with one. Because one of the cuts that I had made was end grain. And I thought I had enough support on one side, but I think I went in a little bit too fast, and it just grabbed that piece and like pulled it to the right, and just like buzzed it real quick. I have a reel that I had posted of me doing it.
Routers
because,
are the scariest thing in the shop. Nothing will
I have
convince
been-
me otherwise.
Oh yeah, my middle school shop teacher was like made me super afraid of them because they were like, if you get your finger caught in one of those and it's just like a super quick, it's gonna like put like 10 marks on your fingernail in an instant, and like instantly made me terrified of routers, which is a good healthy respect for them. So anyway, I need to upgrade some of my safety options on that router table for better cuts, and part of it too is like the workpiece was just not very conducive to like figuring out how to like have a good entry and exit, because it's like thin enough that it doesn't like, there's not very much surface area for those little like gripper things. So it's just like I feel like I'm gonna like teeter over it and like grab the grippers and pull my hands in. So it's like, yeah, using my hands is just straight hands is gonna be more safe naturally.
The God-given grippers.
Exactly. More tactile feedback. So yeah, it was just such a weird shape of a piece, and what I didn't end up getting, I used my little oscillating spindle sander, edge sander thing to get the rest of that, which I am also running into an issue with that one where it's not it's like rounding over the edges when I use that, which I don't know if it's just because of the machine itself is like that, because I don't get that when I use the angle attachment on my sanders for a right angle. Like I get a dead 90 when I use that angle attachment versus the edge sander. But anyway, that's what I ended up breaking, was almost my fingers. And then that dehumidifier that's in the basement of the furniture store is still broken. I think what I'm going to do is because I had two in there, and I'm just going to switch one of them, the one that works, with the one that doesn't work, and then get that figured out at some point. So the turning it off and on again did not work for that second one. It worked for the first one, but unfortunately, I tried it in vain a couple of times with starting and restarting it, with plugging it in and attempting to fix that way, and that didn't work. So that is what I've been breaking.
Alex, you're muted.
And it's still recording.
It is. I'm so sorry about that. Let's try that one again. Let's talk about who we were watching this week. I'll start my first one this week. I wanted to shout out Southpaw. She is an amazing scroll saw artist, and she did for Halloween, or I assume it was for Halloween. Maybe it's just because she likes spooky related things. She did a couple of posts that I saw that were pretty incredible. One was a skeleton with a big 420 weed right in the middle of it, which just looked incredible. But my favorite was the Bart Simpson on his skateboard flying through the air, but where it's from one of the Halloween episodes where his skin is being peeled back from his face to reveal the skeleton underneath. It was so good. She's an incredible artist, and I was really impressed with it. But that was my first one. Braden, who do you want to shout out this week?
I'm going to take this one just so that nobody can steal it because it's the easy one. But Brad Rodriguez from Fix This Build That started a new YouTube channel. Apparently that's the thing that the big guys are doing now. They'll just like start a whole new channel. You get
it's just like the guys who will renovate a van, right? They have not, like, everyone eventually gets to renovating a van. It's like how all living beings turn into crabs eventually. Like, all makers end up renovating a van.
I think you're having a different life experience than the rest of us are, but sure, yeah. But yeah,
you list off so many people that are doing vans right now.
Well, I mean, vans. Listen, don't get me started. I really do want to do a schoolie.
Exactly.
I've got a great story about why I hate the Atlanta airport. That's based around Sutton wanting to get a school bus to refurbish into like a living space. We don't have time for that one though. But yeah, he started.
I had some relatives that renovated a school bus into a party bus.
Nice.
So that's what Sutton can do now.
Okay. Workshop Goals. It's his new YouTube channel, and he built maybe the biggest shop on earth. I don't know. I didn't measure it, but this thing's massive. It's a huge barn on a property. Key thing to notice when you watch the video of him announcing this: how did he insulate the building? I'm going to let you know. It's spray foam.
What channel is this?
Workshop Goals.
I'm adding to my watch list.
It's kind of like how Jason from Bourbon Moth has a cabin, and how Cam from Blacktail now has the ranch, and it's like you get big enough that for tax purposes, instead of buying a new tool to like offset your taxes, I think these guys are being told like, hey, you need to buy a property to offset your taxes so that we can keep...
a 20 grand CNC isn't going to cut it anymore.
Right. Like, hey, we're going to hide, like, this is going to become the new set for your business. And so now it's a taxable or a tax write-off as opposed to an expense or something like that. But anyway,
this isn't that big. This is not as big as I'm planning my current one.
Ladies, all right, look at this guy.
I'm sure mine is it's my dream shop, of course, but
are you measuring from the foundation?
I'm looking
if
at.
You measure you got to measure from under the concrete. That's the trick.
You got to trim the bushes back too.
Yeah. You got to measure the driveway from the road across the street, not like from the house.
Alex,
that
who's
shop
your
is
first
like
one to shut up?
5,500 square feet or bigger.
Yeah.
I have Aaron at Moon Over Maine, and they did it's like a nameplate, and the individual letters pop out, and then there is a backer on it that it exposes that is like a different like mural of just like nature scenery, butterflies and stuff. So it's for like a little kid. I can't remember what the name was, but it was only like 4 letters. So when they take the letters out, you see the cool stuff behind, and then you put them in, and everything fits in nice and flush. It was just one of those fun little, just well executed projects that was very simple in elements, but very well done.
Nice. My next one, I wanted to shout out Knock on Wood, Florida. She went, it's not necessarily what she made, but she did a bunch of stories. She got to go to the Space Gala, which is the Women in STEM big gala that was held at Cape Canaveral in Florida. Zyla was also there as the keynote speaker for it. And so I wanted to shout out Yessie for going to that, and it was perfect example of somebody who should have been invited. So I'm glad that she was, but also shouting out Zyla because 1, I've heard her as a keynote speaker. She's great. But 2, congratulations. She got her medical license back. She can be a pilot again, which is amazing. If you haven't followed that story along, she, about a year ago, she had posted a video about flying and, the mental struggles of life and things like that. And somebody reported her to the FAA, and she got her license revoked. Little do you know, and she did a great job. She used her platform, her YouTube platform, to talk about this. Did you know that it is basically against the law or against FAA regulations for a pilot to go to therapy? Like, therapy is just not something pilots should do. And if they go to therapy and are and it's reported, they'll lose their license. And so she worked with, and I'm going to blank on the name, but an organization I'm sure you can find on her page, which was all about mental health in pilots. And she went to DC a couple of times and we actually got a bill through the Senate, or through the House. And it was the first bill all year long that was a unanimous vote. And imagine that in these days and age, an unanimous vote through the House that got passed, and now they're trying to get to the Senate floor to be passed as a law. But yeah, so she's done an amazing job, and because of all that, and in her video she talks about, she thinks that it basically got her case brought up to the top, because usually when you fight this, it can be 4 or 5 years before the FAA even reviews your case. And it was only a year later that she got it reviewed and got her license back. So
good on her for being able to accomplish all that. That's quite a feat.
It's incredible
for anyone.
And it is. It is an incredible feat, and it's incredible to then. The one thing that Zyla has always impressed me with in the little time few times I've met her, but also her story that I've watched, is she has the amazing ability to, when things go wrong, pick herself back up and get to work, where a lot of people just will fall apart or give up or so on. And I feel like she's very good in that aspect, and a good example of what should happen in the world. So,
and through all that, just because she didn't really have much going on, she also is building an airplane.
Yes.
And also designed a rocket. So,
right.
Small scale stuff.
Yeah, a cedar strip airplane that she's building. She just broke the sound barrier with the first 3D printed rocket, or the first 3D printed rocket to break the sound barrier. Sorry, and survive. And survive.
That's the key. That's the key right there.
Yeah, and survive. Mm-hmm. And she Estes, or however you say it, the rocket manufacturer released a kit based on her designs with her face on it and everything, and it got sold out immediately, apparently. So,
which is badass.
So badass.
The ass is bad. That is the badass.
Yeah. So, well done. Anyways, moving on. That was my next shout out. Braden?
I'm gonna I'm gonna butcher the last name here. Daniel Barossi. I don't know if you guys have seen this. He has a channel, Barouse Works or Barouse Works, Barousse. He has built a shop into a shipping container, and then complete with CNC, and like a bunch of other major tools.
Is this the guy in Costa Rica?
He's in Costa Rica. He shipped
I thought it sounded familiar.
He shipped it to Costa Rica.
We shouted this guy out a few weeks ago.
And he does, well, my B. Well, I'm shouting him out again. I don't go like down the rabbit hole that often. I am deep into the rabbit hole of his page because he does a lot of skateboard stuff and some epoxy stuff, and it is phenomenal. But the shop in the shipping container thing just blows my mind.
He's living my dream. I want to retire to Costa Rica with a wood shop and just make stuff in Costa Rica. Like, incredible.
So, and he's doing all that. I mean, and his shop isn't nearly as big as Alex Duffey's dream shop. You know, he's doing it. He's doing all this with the. Yeah, you want a triple wide. That's right. But yeah, it's phenomenal, and he's doing skateboard art. Intrigues me just in the fact that there exists that many skateboards that you can create nonstop art with it. And it seems really easy. Like, oh yeah, they're just gluing them together and then doing stuff with them. The process to like strip these things down.
Oh yeah, to get the
grip tape off.
Yeah,
and get the rebel youth stank out of it and all that. Immediately disqualifies me from ever doing it because there's no way I'll sit and focus on stripping one skateboard, much less the quantity to make anything out of it. But man, it is cool.
It really is. And I when I first started into woodworking, I was doing wood turning, and there's a few really prominent woodworkers that's what they do is they strip skateboards and make blanks for bowl blanks and stuff out of all that with the colored inlay wood and stuff, and they're gorgeous. And I was like, I'm totally going to do that. And then I watched one YouTube video on how you do it, and I said, absolutely not.
I am not doing that anymore.
It looks horrible. It was, and the guy who did it, like, he's like, I hate my life. He's like, I've made this that I can't not do it because I sell them so much, but I hate every moment of it.
It's like refinishing church pews.
Yeah,
that's how you know you've made it in your specific art niche. Is if you have hit the point where you hate it, you've made it.
Yep, exactly. Alex, do you have somebody else to shout out?
Yeah, Sawdust Imagery. They have been making these cool little robot figures. They're about, I don't know, maybe like about 2 feet to 3 feet tall-ish from what I can tell. And so it's the same structural little robot, like posable figurine, but from iteration to iteration it gets changed to just awesome finishes and just different little features for like the eyes and different colors and whatnot. It's just phenomenal. So go through and look at a few of those different ones, and you'll find one that is amazing that you will absolutely love. Amongst, I think he's done like 50 or so of them, from what I gathered.
Yes, we talk on Instagram a lot, and he's one of those where, very much like me, if you ask me a question about a product that I make, I'll share the file, I'll share how I do it. Like, I don't care. Like, if you want to make it yourself and sell it, great, go for it. Like, he's very much of that mindset too, of like, I had reached out to him because I was doing last year a video on making robots off of the CNC, little wooden toy robots. And I was like, hey, how do you connect the head on yours? Because I noticed your head swivels and moves, and that's what I want to do. How do you do that? And so he sent me the hardware, or like he sent me the links to the hardware that he purchases and everything. And yeah, great guy. Braden.
That's all I prepped. That's
okay.
what I saw. That was my notes.
I actually don't have anybody else either. So,
Oh, thank
Alex,
God.
do you have
Don't
anybody
scare me
else?
like that.
I do have a couple more.
Nerd.
Overachiever.
Because I prepped properly. Rochelle at Prairie House Originals. So she made this walnut and I believe it was maple hockey goalie. And so she got the pieces together and then added in the last little bit of detail work through wood burning, and it turned out really cool. Next one that I have is from Peg Woodworking, and they do a lot of like woven cord seats and those types of pieces. And they had a recent post where they just had, I don't know if it was like 20 or so just like different patterns, because like we've probably all seen some of the few basic patterns when there've been like woven seats where it's kind of like a squarish pattern, maybe there's like a diamond in the middle, but they go hard into a lot of different patterns that they do, where it's just like almost like a limitless options. And they're like, it's almost like looking at like someone who's super proficient in like origami, where it's like, you know, we all see like little swan birds that some people learn to make, but then someone takes it like to the nth degree, and they've done that with these like bench cords with all these wonderful patterns. So go take a look, and they've just got a whole bunch of patterns that are just astonishingly cool. Let's see, next one that I've got is Kevin from Shea Made, and this one caught my attention a little bit more from how they actually made it. So it was a epoxy pumpkin. So the pumpkin, it like what you would imagine is like the orange skin of the pumpkin was wood, and then they had the epoxy fill in for like the eyes, the mouth, and then what they had done is they had cut out where the stem was going to be, and then they filled it, and then they came back through to cut out that stem portion, the wood that was around it. So they did that in multiple steps to get that level of detail where the epoxy was actually exposed on the edges. But they left that form in there to get the shape before they cut it out, and then went through and did all of the finish sanding and everything, and it turned out really great. And then the last one that I have, yes, Braden, you raised your hand like a good boy.
I do have one more once you're done.
Okay. Christina at Christina Boy Design. So she made these really cool table legs for this side table, where it's I don't know how they made it, but I think it was probably a solid piece, and then they textured it so that it looks like almost like beads or like river rocks to compile the leg. So it's just like a really fun take on a very simplistic table design with, you know, 3 table legs, and then adding that extra bit of design into there that really catches the attention. So that's the last one that I've got.
Braden.
Yeah, I do have one more, and it's a smaller maker. Jeremy Claybaugh from J Claybaugh Woodworking just did his very first craft fair this last weekend, and so he's been posting a lot about the stuff that he's been making, a bunch of cutting boards and the cheese slicers, which kind of break my brain, and I don't know why. I can't figure out why they're intimidating. Is not the right word to me, but like I just don't. You drill the hole and then you just like slide the thing in there. I don't get it. So
I
the fact
feel
that
Like
the
a
way.
whiskey smoker, but with cheese.
kind of, but like metal.
But you got to slice the smoke.
I understand how cheese slicers work. I mean, like the assembly of this device.
Oh yeah. The
Like the woodworking part of it, not the cheese eating part of it. I'm on board with the cheese eating part of it. But the fact that
just installing the hardware.
he has like a whole rack that he took to his first craft fair, solid setup, crushed it on the first one. And we were talking, Alex, he probably would gravitate more towards your style of doing things, like prepared nerd. He pre-set up his setup in his garage beforehand so that he knew exactly where everything went. And so watching him go through that, like the first show has been a lot of fun. So if you're looking for a new person to go look for, J Claybaugh Woodworking.
Yeah, he did a great job, and I love that he posted it on the another Wood Show podcast Discord and was asking like, hey, what do you guys think of this? And I know I gave him some comments of what I thought about it, and so did other people. And yeah, it was great. He did a great job.
You shall not pass!
I don't know why that is going to be the sound bit for talking about content deals and vendors, but that is. So this week's episode is all about content deals and working with vendors and brands. And the reason why I wanted to do this topic with Braden specifically was because of how I met Braden the very first time in person. So I met Braden the first time at Workbench Con in 2024. And I was there as a first time, nobody looking around, trying to meet people. And I had, luckily enough, made contact with a CNC company that I wanted to work with, and they decided to show up last minute. And so it was one of those things where I was like, oh my God, I want to pitch them a content deal. I just started a YouTube channel and I haven't done anything. And so I want to do it. And so Braden was actually about to pitch a company, and he let me tag along on dinner when you were pitching this company. And do you want me to say who it is? You know who I'm talking about?
Let's see. Did I get lobster pasta at that one?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's fine.
Is that your deal with Jeep? How you're advertising for them that they have
official deal with Jeep? Yes.
No, so
they're not just Jeeps; they're also trucks.
You were pitching Surf Prep and talking to Hannah and the team, and you had invited me along to dinner with you guys. And so, first of all, it was cool that one, invited me along while you're doing this, but two, as somebody who is trying to get to that point and do it, it was really cool getting to see how you worked with the vendor and how you talked to them and you did treat them because you do know Hannah and you know them as friends, and so you treated them like friends. And that, I think, is how I approach everybody, especially just besides makers, but besides the brands. If I want to work with you, I want to be your friend. I don't want to work with you because I want money. I want to work with you because you're a brand or a product that I trust and I work with. And so I really liked how you approached them and how you let me tag along and see some of your magic behind the scenes. You're schmoozing, but it stuck with me, and it helped me a lot. And it's how I've kind of looked. It set the scene and the tone for me going forward. So I wanted to bring you on and talk about that and talk about, what advice you would have for our listeners of talking to brands and content and that kind of stuff. So especially now that you're doing a lot of it for Dan.
And that you've overbooked it.
I am, yeah. That is one of my worst character traits. Is
you're just too good at it.
That's right. You just keep winning, and then you win some more, and then you get the taste of it. No, I forget that there is technically only 24 hours in the day, 7 days in the week, and I always think, there's the guys got to see this. They've seen it before, but I was real bad at Maker Camp. I do not know how to sit still. I'm real bad at it. And so I just refinished an entire X at the end of the weekend because I couldn't sit still. So no, it was fun doing that. I'm convinced that it was the lobster pasta that actually did all the work, all the heavy lifting at that dinner.
It was really good pasta.
Dude, it is. It's at the Alex. You've never been to work. No, you did go to Workbench Con.
No, I went to the place where they serve that, but I didn't get it.
I remember.
Out of respect.
No, I think everybody. It's the Yard House in the Battery. They have a lobster pasta, and it is. Oh my god, it is. Honestly,
it's like a lobster mac and cheese.
Yeah, it's like a fettuccine Alfredo mac and cheese. I don't even know what it is. It's delightful. It's also completely besides the point. Yeah, I don't know my background. So prior to me slinging the spray foam, I was a travel nurse recruiter for 8 years, and then before that I was a buyer for a fairly large retail company that nobody but Alex will know who it is. I worked for Nebraska Furniture Mart as a as a buyer. And so I worked.
That's why I can't get Nebraska and furniture in a keyword search on Google. They've already got it all.
They locked it up. And now that they're building an Austin, Texas location in addition to the Dallas one, there's technically going to be more Nebraska Furniture Marts in Texas than there will be in Nebraska. Fun fact.
Huh.
So
I think they need to change to that name.
Technically in Texas, it is just the
Furniture
Mart of Texas, Nebraska Furniture Mart of Texas. And it is the Dallas location is a 1.5 million square foot built, like it's a whole complex. So if you're interested in like history and like massive US based companies, go look up the history of Nebraska Furniture Mart. It's very
Mrs.
interesting.
B's, because that is savage.
That
lady knew what she was doing.
She'd cut a bitch. That's what she would do. She ran over my foot once when I was a kid. That's one of my Mrs. B's memories. She had like a little electric wheelchair thing, and she would just
rascal.
like, yeah, little rascal. She came from the old country. She came from Russia during the war.
Okay.
And like oh man, what a story. But that whole family, again, completely besides the point. The point that I was leading to here was my whole background in life has been selling. Like it's just, and it's not even like sales. Like I really feel icky about sales. Everything is customer service. Like everything in life is providing value to somebody. Like that's what sales is. That's what customer service is. And if you're having to like convince somebody that something is a good fit for them and then they feel icky about it later, you didn't really do a good job. You may have closed something, but it's never going to last. Like that's not how you get return customers in sales. That's not how you get brands that, you know, they may send you that tool that they're pushing right now to get some content, but that's not how you get a relationship with the brand that, Alex, I know for a fact that you have with Next Wave, and I know that I have with the other CNC. Well, are you sponsored by Next Wave, like on this podcast specifically?
No, you can say their names.
Then that's the relationship that I have with Onefinity. I didn't want to step on any toes there, so you know, I know you're fine, but that's how you build relationships with brands, and that's how you get to be a part of those brands' experience out in the world. And in my world, or in my mind, that's the most fun part about creating content, is being able to shape brand awareness around brands that I like working with anyway, and that I'm going to pay for stuff anyway. So if we can find something that will be mutually beneficial, like that's easy to me. And showing that value, it's not hard. At least in my mind, it's not hard.
Absolutely. And I think that mindset is so important. I think a lot of people gravitate towards that. I know that is something that, like, the Next Wave guys said to me that they gravitated towards me because of the way I treat people and respond to people, and it's what they wanted to align themselves with. And that's, you know, one, everybody should treat everybody great. There shouldn't be anything else, but I really like, as you said, making those connections and being part of it. Like Next Wave for me and the team there, I think there's 5 of them now that I have their personal cells, and we text back and forth and send memes and are just like goofy, fun stuff to each other. And like, that's just, we're friends. And it's the same way. I'm the same way with a couple of my other things, Wise Bond Epoxy and Cody over at Cadence Manufacturing for CNC bits. We'll chat once in a while on text too, and just like, but it's to me, it's all about personal relationships. It's not necessarily about a brand to a brand, because in our world, we are selling basically ourselves as a maker, especially when you're doing content. You're not, unless you're one of those AI channels that just, you know, do random images and you're only doing a voiceover. The rest of us all have our face to something. Braden, you're on a podcast. Alex and I are both on this podcast. I'm on YouTube and that kind of stuff. And we all have our face that we're presenting. And so it isn't not personal. It has to be personal because we're selling ourselves. So, yeah. that's how I feel about it. I mean,
I think one of the
go ahead.
well, I was going to say, so one of the first things that I generally run into, like when people ask about working with brands in general, or like, hey, how do I reach out to this brand, or should I even reach out? I'd like to try and partner with them, but I've got a really small account, or I've only got 1,000 followers, or whatever. And there's two very different sides to marketing, and this, we could go deep into like the different value aspects of different styles of marketing. But the key thing here is there is a lot of brands that are finding that they are getting more value out of partnering with what they're called like micro influencers, smaller accounts, more accessible people, and connecting with like 50 of them versus like one big name brand, because the cost to advertise with that big name brand, it's a weird analogy, but advertising on the Super Bowl, sure, you get a 30-second spot for $12 million, or you could do 100 ad spots for the entire, every week on like 50 different local channels. Which one is going to get you more value? Sarah from Rosie's Workshop is actually a phenomenal example of somebody who is really working like the idea of being like a micro influencer. She's working with a bunch of different brands, and I know that her pitch is pretty similar. She's reaching out to these brands and saying, hey, this is the type of content that I do. This is the type of work that I'm doing. I'd like to help build your brand. And it's leading to partnerships with, like, every other week I'm seeing she was partnering with Oliver Tool Company. She was partnering with who's the space helmet dust, like the personal dust collector, Micro Climate Air.
Micro Air or something. Or Micro Air. I think Microclimate might be the right one.
She's constantly partnering with like some new brand. And you see it with a lot of people. And it's just it's a perfect example that for these brands, they're able to send product a lot easier in these marketing budgets. Sending product is a lot easier to get approved than signing a monetary contract. So when you're first trying to connect with different brands, or when you're first trying to like feel out brands, you don't have to be a massive account, and you can still show value. And a lot of times, if you're comfortable, or if you're interested in the product side of things, getting product for content deals figured out it's relatively simple. Like, it's not scary.
No. I will say two things off of that before we move on to other parts of this topic. For people, when you want to reach out, when you do decide to get that and you're going for a product, I have found the best time of year is to reach out in January and February. Because
big, thick budgets.
You're past the big budget of all the money came in from the holidays, especially in consumer products, but also most businesses end their fiscal year April 1st. And because of that, anything that the extra hardware and product that they want to get off the books before the end of the fiscal year, they're going to ship out during that time. So just a word to the wise if you're going to start jumping out.
And especially, I mean, you've already mentioned it a little bit, but when you are talking with someone, having the mindset, and I can't remember where I heard the phrase from, that people are not against you, they're for themselves. And if you understand what someone else is trying to accomplish, and in this case, that particular brand, and you have that discussion with them about what they want to accomplish and see if it aligns with what you want to do, you're more likely to get something that's going to be a much better fit, and it's probably going to be, relatively speaking, easier for you to generate content from that makes sense for that particular brand, whether it's reaching a certain demographic or it's the type of content they want to show their product doing out in the wild. Having that conversation where you're not just saying, I can do this, but you're also having that two-way discussion on, what is it that you guys want to accomplish? What do you guys want to showcase? Like, what do you have that you're trying to get out there, whether it's, a different product line, maybe it's something that's newer, or it's something that, it's been around a while, but it's got tweaked and it's got a few more features or something like that. So if you think about what their needs are and you're able to have a little bit of that, I don't know if empathy is like the true, like the proper word in that scenario, but trying to understand what they're trying to accomplish, you're probably going to get a lot further than just saying, here's what I can do, and make it a true conversation.
Every single first email or first contact that I reach out to, when I do reach out to brands, it includes something along the lines of, hey, what are your marketing goals right now, and how can I help fill some of those needs?
Mm-hmm. And that's a good point. It's a good thing to do, because the company overall, they need to make money, right? And so you're just a small part of that plan. So, yeah. Yeah, I know. And I would also say, do that once you have a content deal and you want a continued relationship, continue to reach out to them. I know I do that with Evan and Next Wave and the team there all the time. I go, hey, what's your sale next month? Let me get a couple of videos put together to promote it, stuff like that. So make sure you are working on those deals continuously, not just a one and done if you want to grow a relationship. But with that, I mean, Braden, do you have suggestions so let's start from the bare bones here. When you want to reach out to somebody, what do you find is the best way to do so?
Unless I have some sort of direct contact with them already, or like I've gotten an email address through some introduction, I will generally reach out through Instagram first. It just happens to be the main platform that I'm on and I do most of my work through. So, I slide all up in them DMs, try and see if I can figure out if it's a marketing team or if it's a social person or if they can redirect. And then just kind of go from there. And usually it's asking like, hey, I'm a content creator. Hey, I do marketing development for brands. I was interested in, in this part of your business. I'd love to help grow it. Love to help pitch it or show it to the, like the home maker or like the DIY to prosumer level customer base. Is there somebody specific that I should reach out to? And is there a good time that we can connect, or can you send me in the right direction of who I should try and connect with, to set up some sort of conversation? It shows a lot of what we just talked about. I'm trying to help them with their growth. Obviously I'm looking for something out of it, but if you're able to show that it's a partnership that you're interested in from a partnership standpoint, as opposed to a give me free stuff standpoint, it seems to work out fairly well. You can't really get discouraged with that. There's a lot of companies, and this just has to do with how companies are structured, where some companies, the marketing department also runs the social side, and others, the social side is like complete opposite ends of the building from the marketing people, or the marketing people have a different division that handles the content creators. Like you're feeling out structure, but 90% of the time they know how to direct you to where you need to go. And sometimes you'll just luck out and you'll get the right person. I had one, this wasn't even like a partnership. Like this was just a fluke accident that worked out, where the right guy was monitoring the social media account on the weekend, and it was with Viper chairs, my shop stool. And I obliterated my cheap Amazon shop stool that I had. And this was like the fourth or fifth time that I'd done it. Like the wheels were literally just coming off this thing. And I just, every single time I'd fix it or something, I just tag Viper and just like, hey, sure be neat if I could find a new shop stool, because I was really interested in their stuff. It's all made in the United States, and I think these things are better built than some trucks that you can buy these days.
So Ron Swanson could run his truck into it, and it would still be there.
Pretty much.
They're basically tanks with a comfy seat on top.
Yeah, pretty much. Also, just from a product standpoint, the bearings in the wheels that they use on those things are so choice. They're nice. I will literally sit at my CNC station and it's in my garage, and so there's the slope. If I'm not aware, like if I'm not holding my body in a certain way, I will literally the chair will just start to like glide down away from where I'm working because the bearings in this thing aren't total trash. So that's all
I can think of is like those like elevator chairs that old people use on stairs where they just like slowly go up. I just imagine you slowly going through your office.
Yeah, I'm just like, if I wasn't paying attention, like if I was taking a nap in my chair, like I would just end up in the middle of the street because I'd like roll down. Actually, I'm on a hill, so I could roll like down and wake up in a different neighborhood sort of thing.
Asleep. Hill in the Midwest.
Hey, I've got like 37 feet of elevation change in my neighborhood, so watch it. They call Omaha, Nebraska the Pacific Northwest of the Midwest.
That's terrifying.
Listen, take from that what you will. But anyway, I just tagged them, and it wasn't anything where I really expected anything, and it was more of just like a fun thing, and I was hoping I'd get a repost. And again, the right guy just happened to be sitting at the right table or on the right account at the right moment, and I just get a DM after I posted the reel of, again, me just like shattering my chair, and it just says 3 words: "We got you." And that's how I connected with Viper, and they sent me one, and I said, I will do anything that you guys want. I'm so excited for this chair. And that's how I got my neon red and blue shop chair. So, by the way, those chairs, they're expensive, but they are worth every single penny. But that's it. Like, sometimes you just have to shoot your shot, and sometimes
Michael
it works
Scott
out.
said that Wayne Gretzky said, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take.
That's right. Yep. You just have to go for it, and you might get told no, and that's okay. Like, it doesn't really say anything bad about you as a maker or a content creator or a person. Like, that's the worst thing. Like, being told no and being like, oh, I'm a bad person. That's not a thing. Sometimes you could be the perfect fit for a brand and working with them or their content, but if they don't have the budget for it, if they are just straight up out of whatever the tool is to send out to influencers, they're going to have to tell you no. And there's other people that are also good fits, and like, it's not a personal attack on you. So just shoot your shot. Like, just reach out, be genuine, reach out to brands that you want to work with. Reaching out to brands that you don't actually care about just because you want free stuff. I think we've all kind of felt this, like when you start creating content, you've got like that indestructible shoe thing where like the first brand reaches out and is like, hey, I want to send you something. You just do like 37 1-minute long reels for it and 87 stories. And you're like, just like, I'll do whatever you want. You know, brand sending me stuff. You know, reach out to people that you want to partner with. It makes the whole experience so much more enjoyable.
It is. And when people start reaching out to you, the same rule applies, in my opinion. Don't be like, oh my God, they reached out to me, I'm going to do whatever they ask. They're reaching out to you with their lowest offer. So you can also negotiate.
Oh, yeah.
Their military grade offer.
Exactly. I mean, for example, and I'm not under contract with them anymore, so I will gladly say what happened here. So Asimar reached out to me. They wanted me to do some stuff for one of their lasers.
You too?
Yeah, me too. And so they reached out and are like, hey, we'd love you to make 10 YouTube videos for the P3 laser. And I kind of went, no. I said, I'm like, hey, your product's cool. I'm not making 10 videos. I said, I'll make a long form video or some shorts. And they're like, oh, I don't know if we can do that. How about 6 long form videos? And so then my offer went down, and I was like, hey, sure, I'll do 6 shorts for you and a story. And they're like, well, and basically they said no. And then it was like 2 weeks later, they came back and said, okay, we can do that deal now. And so sure enough, it was 6 1-minute reels over 6 months. And I filmed them all back to back in one weekend. And then I put a reminder on my phone to play them. And I didn't need this laser because I already have a laser. So I gave it to Kara because her laser had just died. So like, it's one of those things where it's like, you don't remember the offer that they come to is their lowest offer, and don't be afraid to say no, because they might come back.
Yeah, don't stretch yourself too thin on stuff, because you will regret it definitely in the end.
And also just remember what your time's worth. Like, I charge $60 a shop hour when I'm doing stuff on my CNC for people. Like, you should be charging at least your shop rate for brand creation or content creation too. So
yeah, just compensate yourself from the downtime.
Mm-hmm.
And it changes. Like, if it's a tool that you wanted to buy anyway, and again,
right.
The dynamic, that's the cool thing about working with brands, is the dynamic for every single deal can be different. Like, there's no hard set rules. If you want a confidence boost when you're starting to reach out to work with brands, start with laser companies. Like, they're the budget that they have, because most of them are just like regurgitating the same rebranded laser from the same factory. The bar to enter that content creation area is very approachable. Let's say that.
I'll say any overseas tool manufacturer is basically that way. The black and orange brand, I definitely have quite a few of their products because it's very easy to get a content deal there.
I was going to say, I don't know. I've got one that turned me down because I don't have enough YouTube followers. And this is one thing that you'll also find is a lot of brands, their metrics are all over the place on what they qualify as, like, hey, we'll partner here. Like, some, they only care about YouTube. Some, they think that YouTube is the only platform that exists. Whereas, you tell them that you have access to the sort of reach that, like, I do through the podcast. And I'll say it, like, between Dan Peaton and I on the podcast, I'm essentially nobody. Like, I'm basically nobody.
That's why we got you on here first.
Yeah, that's right. Test the waters. I get it.
Who is still larger than both of us.
No, I was going to say, it's because he's the one that we can approach.
I'm affordable. My rates are just, I still do product for content. But I mean, there's some brands that have turned me down because, like, hey, you don't have enough followers on Instagram. And I'm like, cool, but I have access to 500,000 people or more, like, through the podcast, just based on downloads. Do you guys care about numbers? I can show you why you're not really maybe thinking about numbers. And they're just like, yeah, sorry, if you don't have a number of Instagram followers or this number of YouTube, yeah, we just don't consider them. Like, okay, cool. And then you kind of move on. So again, you can bring a ton of value, but if you have some old school marketing person that runs their marketing department that has just decided that follower count is the metric that they care about, something you do about it. So,
yeah. And if you have that discussion when you talk with them about what metrics they look for, I mean, in true actuality, you want a metric that actually ties back to generating them revenue is the real key number that should be driving that conversation, whereas anything else is just a preemptive number to get you there, whether it's views, followers, likes, comments, what have you. Really, if you can show the conversion from that to how that gets them or generates them sales, that's going to be your, like, true talking point with them. And if they don't make that connection or understand that, then they're probably going to be a pain to work with regardless.
And with that point too, there's a couple of things you can do ahead of time. Like one of the things I did was I did it for like a month. I wanted this one to work with this one brand and said, hey, you know what? I'm going to set up a Bitly link, and I'm going to do a show because they don't have an affiliate program. So I'm going to show how much traffic I'm pushing to their site because I want them to add me to their affiliate program. And I did that, and I set up a Bitme link, and I was able to say, okay, this many thousands of people clicked on the link and went to your site. You know, did you see a conversion during this month of this amount from average of more sales or whatever? And was able to do that. But even if you don't want to go that far, a lot of companies these days do have just affiliate link or affiliate programs you can sign up for, and at least start there. Maybe you want to work with them, but they're not interested in working with you just quite yet. Start with working with their affiliate, prove that you can push some sales to them, and then be like, hey, I pushed this many sales to you. I'd love to work with you more. So
if they don't have the affiliate stuff, you can also generate affiliate links through Amazon if it is a product that can be purchased through there. So there's ways that you don't have to necessarily start with working directly with that brand if you say you don't qualify for whatever numbers or what have you. Yeah, generating those links, whether it's through Bitly, an affiliate link, or like a Amazon link or whatever to put, like, you know, if it's a certain power tool or whatever that you can link to on Amazon, like, you don't have to necessarily work directly with that brand to get that set up, to get that ball rolling.
That kind of leads that. So I was about to ask you, and I think this kind of answers my question. I wanted to know what your thought was on working with brands at a affiliate only level. Like so there's some brands that you can just sign up for their affiliate program.
Mm-hmm.
I personally don't do affiliate only stuff. Like, there's got to be some juice that's worth the squeeze to me. So if I can't get a little skin in the game from a brand at the same point, like, I get that, you know, they probably want to see some marketing value, but if I can't deliver based on previous metrics, I personally won't do affiliate only stuff. Because to me, it's they're looking for free advertising, and I don't do free work.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think it depends on the brand that you're working with. If it's a brand that you actually do like, because I know Joni Sprague had a series of stories where she specifically talked about this, where she was saying, like, if it's a brand that, like, especially if it's like a large brand that has like a marketing budget behind it, where it's like a very well established one that's been around for a while, and it's like, you know, they have marketing budget for it. That's different than, like, if it's a new company that doesn't necessarily have, like, if they're a small maker brand, like, maybe affiliate links the only thing they can do, and that's how you start with them. But yeah, I think it depends on the type of company, if that is something that does make sense, because like you said, it's a very difficult thing to trace and actually get sales through, because there's a way to keep tabs of it, but someone has to use that particular link, and there's several steps that need to happen there that can be a little bit challenging to get someone through all those sales funnel steps, essentially. And like Braden was saying, like, sometimes that's a way that they can, if it's a super big brand, brush you off but still try and get something out of you. So just be conscientious of how much time you spend on that. And that's, like, that comes back to the conversation on brands that you actually do like, because if it's something that you're going to do, if it's naturally going to come up in you filming content, it's much easier to just throw in that affiliate link because it's already there, as opposed to, like, oh, this is a insert name of super specialized machine that I never use. You have to struggle to, like, generate something that actually would make sense and not sound like you're shilling something.
Right. Well, and again, all of this is kind of like many things, it's all contingent on your approach. Like if I'm chasing a brand, that experience is different. But if a brand reaches out to me, I've always looked at, hey, we would love to offer you, I'm certainly, you guys have had this. Hey, we'd love to offer you a discount off your first order if you sign up for our affiliate program. And personally, my content, my content creation is a marketing tool. I'm not looking to be a salesperson for somebody else. If does that make sense? Like, I'm not looking to go and make commissioned sales. I'm looking to be a part of your marketing platform or part of your marketing team. I'm using air quotes here. Like, that's kind of my goal. If I wanted to do sales, I'd go onto your website and I'd go to the careers page and I'd sign up for a sales job. Like, I'd go apply for a sales job.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me,
you can also
it depends
structure
on
it in a way too, where it's
Oh, I think there's a lag here. Alex, go ahead.
Yeah, so you can also look at doing content that is something that you actually film, and then they just use in their whatever their social media platform is that you're on, where it's like, hey, this is a specific, like, I'm gonna give you this piece of content that you're gonna use, and if they don't want it posted on your page, or they want it to be pushed through on, say, a sponsored post that they do, that can be another avenue where you're changing the structure of that content. So that's also a suggestion that you can see if they're open to something like that. I can't remember the specific name for it. I know there's a name for where you film something and then they show it on their page. I can't remember the name off the top of my head.
Oh, consignment.
Basically.
That was a bad joke. Yeah.
So I would say for me, my personal take on it, it depends on the brand. As you guys were kind of saying, like I'm an affiliate only for Cody from Cody's the Jenny bits, and I've told him not to send me free bits because I want to buy his bits to support him because I enjoy his brand and I want to be a patron of his brand. And I'm an affiliate only for IDC Woodcraft because they make a good product and I want to support them too. But also it just works out. Same with Andy Bird Builds. He does amazing training videos for CNC when you first get started. So I'm affiliate for his course to push people to learn because that's, I honestly believe in the product. And so I want him to continue to make those videos. But those are things that I've chosen to be like, hey, I want to support this individual or this small brand because I think that they need the help, and I want to see them succeed because I like them. Where it's not like, woodpeckers coming to me going, hey, we want you as an affiliate for our turning pen supplies. No, you don't need that.
And I think that's a very important distinction. In my question there was, there's a very different experience on, hey, I'm already a patron of this brand and I want to support them. And so this is what I'm comfortable setting up as my partnership with any of those brands, or a brand that is approaching you because they want marketing content or they want, an additional source of exposure. Hamilton Dilbeck made a very important point when he was talking about working with brands on AWP. And it's, if brands are approaching you if they want to send you product, if they're approaching you about partnering, you, even as a small creator, you have value. The content that you create has value, and they are reaching out to you because of that value. So don't discount the value that you are also bringing to the table just because you're excited that a brand has reached out to you.
Yep, absolutely. Do either of you have anything else you wanted to bring up?
Yes. So if you are I think of this as like sometimes you have someone who's starting from ground zero, where it's like it's a fresh new account that they're setting up. I mean, you can just start off with filming anything and everything and generating, short form, long form, whatever platform that makes the most sense for you, and just start making stuff, because that also shows, all right, this is what this person or this brand would actually be getting in terms of like fit and finish. So if it's stuff that you're already using and you're not necessarily like review videos or stuff like that, but I mean, if you're just showing, hey, I'm making this and I'm using this particular tool for these steps and it's particularly good at XYZ, being able to show and present yourself and say, all right, it's much easier to look at something and say, yes, that's what they're looking for to have their tool or product presented, versus I have a concept of a content marketing that can be actually generated. It's much easier to start off with something rather than just saying, well, I could if I wanted to. And it's like, yeah, anyone can if they wanted to, but not many people will take those steps to like film and actually generate stuff. So even if it's not branded content, like you want to build up your own follower base of that value, because like, I mean, right now I'm trying to generate a reel every other day to get and build up my social media base. And it's not necessarily like specific branded content. It's just, all right, here's what I can film. Here's what I got for content. Like one of the more recent ones that I had that was like literally just me flattening my router sled has now become my best performing reel in terms of like views, likes, comments, and all of that stuff. And it's like, it was literally just me throwing up a camera and filming it and then putting it to 100 times speed, and that's gotten a lot of engagement in terms of those metrics that I just mentioned. So just filming and getting accustomed to filming, because I just use an old iPhone and a tripod, and that's all that I use. So I mean, the barrier to entry to just start making some content is relatively low. And I'm not saying that you have to go out and make branded content to even get into those deals. I'm just saying it's kind of like building your own portfolio of here's what it looks like if it comes from myself.
You'll also figure out what you like doing. I would love to do long form content. I dream of it. I have 90% of a long form video that I've been working on for like 4 years.
I've heard about this video over and over and over again.
I have hundreds of hours of
Is it
building...
a kitchen island?
No, it is. It's a mid-century modern white oak desk that I did like 4 years ago. It was one of the first major pieces that I got commissioned to do, and it's nice. The desk is bitchin'. Sorry, pardon my French. But I started doing a build video, and I just cannot stand doing build content. Like I like recording me building stuff, but the whole, okay, and then you're going to do this step, and then you're going to do this, and then you're going to do this, and this video is sponsored by World of Tanks, and then you're going to finish it like this. Like it's not the content I do. And I do, and that's kind of the point that I'm trying to make, Alex, is by just creating that content and just starting like that. And that's the hardest part, just starting any of this stuff and just reaching out. You'll start to figure out what you like to do and where your where you can generate value. I'm not ashamed to say it. Mine is goofy, uncut, like unpolished content. Like, and it's polished in the sense that I spend way too much time doing like cheesy, like cut out bobblehead content with brands, or like just slapping logos on stuff and making reference videos. By the way, my K-pop Demon Hunters video that I made for Onefinity the other day,
You mean the one that Dan made for you?
Sure. No. Yes. Yeah, sure. That's right. Dan hates K-pop Demon Hunters because he hates good things. He hates joy. That's what it is. And that's one of the things we like most about him. Making that video, I giggled the entire time I made it. Like, just nonstop. By the way, I love that movie. I've probably watched it once a day for the last, 2 months. It's a problem
wonderful
at this
movie.
point. It's fantastic.
My wife wants me to watch it. I have not watched it yet.
Dude, Alex,
You'll be
I'm
like that one
shocked.
person who watched B-Movie 300 times in the span of 2 months, and they literally called up the person to see if they were okay.
Are you
And it turned out
okay?
and it turned out their toddler was watching it on repeat.
Pretty much, except I'm a grown-ass adult man. Alex, I'm shocked that you haven't seen it. I guarantee you enjoy it. I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
We need to show them how it's done.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, just nonsense videos like that. Shoot, my Sarah McLachlan adoption, stranded puppy adoption Black Friday sale video for surf prep went off, and it is nonsense. The entire time, it's just nonsense, just straight up tomfoolery. And that's the stuff that I like. And so when you just start creating that content, you'll figure out where your niche or your niche or your whatever we're calling it these days, what type of content you're going to create. And again, sometimes that'll work for the brand. Some will think it's hilarious, it's what they want to market with, and some not for us. And that, again, that's okay. But if you're creating content that you enjoy making, creating content for brands that you enjoy working with, that you enjoy creating the content itself as well, it gets so much easier. And this
Especially
is
if you're
way
peeling
too much.
skateboards for 8 hours a day and hate your life.
Yeah, content creation and working in the shop, it's way too much fun to hate doing it. So don't hate what you're doing just to get some discount off of a laser from overseas or something like that.
Well, and especially too, if you have a storyline that goes with what you're doing, that also makes for good content as well. I know I'm kind of dabbling into the content itself, where it was because another good performing reel that I had was it was just something that I did off of a whim, where it was this little holder for BBs for my son's BB gun thing that I decided to make and then laser his name on it. And it was just it was just something that I did, and I was just doing it for fun, and it performed really well. And it's just oh yeah, cool. Playing around with stuff that like Braden was saying, of stuff that you like, that you kind of start figuring out, generally speaking, what does better that also kind of fits in your wheelhouse of stuff that you like to do, because we don't always know what's going to be a hit or a miss in terms of content, but if you're actually enjoying the process of it, that kind of cushions you from the ones that didn't perform well, but you can also still doubly enjoy the ones that do really perform well, and either way you end up winning because you had fun. And I too giggle at videos that I make, and my wife always hears me do it, and she's like, "What the hell are you doing with your wood podcast or your wood videos?" And she loves giving me a crap about it, but I enjoy it.
Your wooden tomfooleries. Yeah, it's
She just wants a driveway to be clear.
Oh,
that's all she wants in life.
We literally had to find a different house because I was taking over the garage. That's how I ended up with my nightmare that I enjoy.
That's why I put up an extra shed, is to put crap in so I could take over the garage.
Yeah.
So Alex, how are you doing the exact opposite of what Alex and I are doing?
Because I have an amazing wife who lets me deal with it.
Oh, no, my wife thinks that she doesn't think I'm funny, but she doesn't think any of my jokes are funny, but that's okay. I bet you
she thinks your druck is funny?
No, I don't do storyboards. Most of my videos I actually
on Pinterest.
No, most of my videos I make on the fly. That's all in here. But I do
the brain have a storyboard. Got it.
Yeah, I do have one of those big Office Depot paper calendars that is hung up in my in our kitchen, and I put sticky notes of ideas for videos that I want to make, and I put them on a date of when that video is going to come out, so I know that I need to work on that video next, and it helps me stay organized. But that's about it.
Braden's is more like that yarn strewn together Charlie Day, Always Sunny in Philadelphia, like conspiracy theory.
I mean, the board behind him with all the stickers kind of looks like it as it is anyway.
Hey, you be
point.
careful. You're on that board. Let's see.
Oh,
right
I'm sure I am.
there. And then I had to double up with the alien one. So
of course.
I figured it was only okay if I put your sticker over your sticker as opposed to somebody else's.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, with that said,
Good news, everyone.
do we have any maker news this week, Alex?
Did you guys rip off the AWP news?
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you have the copyright on the
sound?
Futurama soundbite?
I am going to delete your guys' sub-Discord or whatever
You know
we're
what? Just
talking
put me in
about.
timeout. You know
This
you
is-
want to do it.
You're in permanent timeout. I cannot. I am aghast and offended and full of disbelief.
Whatever. Just because it happens to be the perfect soundbite doesn't mean you
I
own
can't
it.
help that we nabbed it.
It's not like we took the Black Betty Ramble-am and used that bit, because that's an OG AWP soundbite.
Well, also,
So now I might.
it's actually Dan's voice. It'd be a little harder to rip that one off. But yeah, again, aghast and offended.
I could just pull it off in Sora.
Hush.
I'll get you one of these days.
All right. So maker news. I don't have any. I didn't see anything else exciting throughout the upcoming news. Alex, Braden.
Yeah, extra. Whatcha Makin blatantly rips off another Woodshop podcast. More at 9.
Will you be discussing that in your 2024 Q4 patron meeting?
Our Q3 patron meeting, which will occur sometime in the next month, we hope.
Well, there's 43 days until Christmas, so if you need to work on gifts, you better hurry the F up.
And we've got to do that, and we've got to do 2 quarters worth of patron calls, and also 2
You
months
don't have
worth
time
of
to sue us
giveaways.
for infringement on someone else's intellectual property.
Listen, we'll just put out a hit piece on social media or something like that.
You'll just
Well, I'm
have
sure if
Dan
you
rake
ask-
us over the coals on his stories.
No,
Yeah,
it just
I was
they'll
gonna
mention
say.
one little thing to Malcolm, and Malcolm will run with it. I guarantee you.
We'll have Malcolm start an awareness month, and then Dan's put more than one brand into the ground. So you guys joke, but we got a secret weapon.
I do really want Malcolm to do another version of his podcast fight video, and because we're so small, like us over in the corner being like, "Hey, we want to be part of it too," or something like that, because it'd be fun.
That was basically how Sawdust Talk got onto that fight video. I offered to do all of the editing. So like he had all the heads like cheaply cut out with squares and not transparencies and stuff.
contoured.
And I told him, I was like, I will cut the background out of all of your heads for your content as long as we get to be the Spanish news team. That's it. That's my only demand. And that's how you work out a deal with the brand, folks.
There you go.
negotiate.
Sweat and love.
All right. Well, Braden, where can people find you?
I am predominantly on Instagram at Littlebug Woodworking. You can find me co-hosting with the boys over at another Woodshop podcast, where you can join our Patreon and sign up for our Discord and hang out with
What URL would they go to for that?
arethechairsincluded.com. We'll take that's our St. Jude's
your charity.
page. I love awp.com. That will get you to the podcast,
AWP.com.
and then technically you can also find me on the other social media platforms at Littlebug Woodworking.
Technically,
And as
they're
we know,
just
that's
dead.
technically finding them is the best kind of way of finding
Technically
them.
being there is the best way of being there. So, and then if you want my
Exactly.
home address, it is. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to give that to you guys. Alex
just give you
Adams will
Dan's.
figure out where I live.
Oh, I know where you live.
I'm okay with you knowing where I live. I'm mostly worried about Alex Adams here
I've
finding out
been
where I
to
live.
your shop.
Have you? was
yeah,
I
at the maker
was
the
I
maker
there?
meetup? Yes, you were
Oh,
there.
Blocked it
that's
out.
right. In the dark of night, you just strolled in.
Yes, because I
He's
live
blocked
within the
it
same
out.
state as you.
Yeah,
You were
I do
too busy
remember that.
trying to figure out the homeless encampment that was by Malcolm's Airbnb during that event.
Oh, no. You strolled into my shop. The reason I don't remember is because while everybody else was chillaxing, I was doing, I know everybody's shocked, preparing all of the signage for the event happening literally the next day that we had known about for months. So I was doing
And
all
I
my
helped
laser
Shocking.
work. You
Shocking.
did. We're doing it again this year. Have you guys blocked off your times for the
course I
Midwest
have.
May Kerr meetup?
We'll see. I may come out there.
That's all we
The
can
greatest zoo in the world.
may ask. I don't know where to go from here.
I heard they'll comp your
All
ticket
right,
for
well,
you,
thank-
Alex.
We will comp.
Oh,
For the
that's what I
event.
heard too.
We will comp tickets for the event for influencers. The event is free,
Good to know.
just to be clear to anybody who's not an influencer. It's a great deal all around.
Thank you so much, Braden, for being part of this. And thank you
you're
guys so
more than
much
welcome.
for. Thank you so much for listening. Remember,
In case I don't see ya. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
good night, everybody.
Night night.
Bye 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 bye.